This is me before 3 meetings. And this is after. Yes, I'm still smiling because I had fantastic conversations, and now I'm gonna go work out. Yo guys, okay, I want to tell you guys about this podcast that I'm listening to, Born to Impact by Joel Marion and Dan Long. They're both in the fitness industry, they're both entrepreneurs, but they're also both Christian, and they always start the podcast with a prayer. Not only that, they give you a lot of practical tips, especially if you're into business or you want to be an entrepreneur or an influencer or anything like that. Also, like if you're not kind of in that same realm, they give you tips on how to live a more fulfilling life. And that's like a really important thing, obviously, because if you're not living a fulfilling life, obviously you're not putting to work the passions that God has placed in your heart. Whether you make money from your passions or not, you should be living a fulfilling life and be doing some sort of passionate thing that God's placed in your heart, and they give you practical tips on how to figure that stuff out. So, Born to Impact, check it out. Very good. I've literally just been filling my mind up with it, and we talk about the subconscious. It's important stuff. So, I'm gonna go work out. Let's talk about flexibility. When it comes to getting flexible, there's not really a time where you don't feel discomfort. Obviously, you shouldn't be experiencing any terrible pain, but if you've ever stretched before, then you know that if you're experiencing at least a little bit of discomfort, then you're probably on the right track. Have a great day. When I was 15, I fractured my hip, and one of the main reasons why I fractured my hip was because I wasn't flexible. I think my car's over here. I fractured my hip by bailing a backflip. I landed on my back, my feet came up to my head. I kneed myself in the face, which at first I thought that was the injury, but then I tried to get up and my right leg didn't work at all. What had happened is when my legs came up to my head, my glutes and hamstrings were not flexible enough. Therefore, my hamstring got strained and my glute actually ripped off my hip partially and took some bone with it. So it's a fractured hip, but the real injury is the glute getting torn off the hip. But it wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have gotten injured if I had taken the proper time to become adequately flexible and prepare in case something like that would eventually happen, which it did. Hey, Joy. So obviously it helps to be oh, was my mic on by the way? Yeah, it is. Okay. Obviously it helps to be physically flexible for when you experience some sort of unexpected stretch or movement. But what about when you experience some sort of stretch mentally or emotionally or physically? Wait, I already said that. Spiritually. Mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. So, we now know why it's important to be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually flexible, meaning to be able to withstand life's challenges and stresses with ease and efficiency. But how exactly do we accomplish this? I have an opinion. Number one, train yourself to look for the solution. Understand that there's never a problem too big to solve, and that everything comes down to the attitude and perspective that you choose to adopt. I chose the word adopt because this is one of the single most important decisions that you're gonna be called to make. Because this decision is gonna be placed in front of you hourly, perhaps even every minute, and the perspective that you choose to adopt is gonna affect almost every single area of your life. Here's a quick example. I have this sweet potato here, and I've left it out for a little while, so it's a little bit cold, and I could make the decision that it's just kind of gross. I don't want to eat it because it's cold, but the decision being that the food is gross is literally fully in my mind, because when it pertains to health and even taste, really the only thing that changed was the temperature. This is still going to benefit me health-wise, and it's going to fill me up, and honestly, if I just make the decision that it's just cold and it's actually a really good sweet potato, then it's actually still really good. So, Joy, look. High five. Good girl. I think a bug just flew on me. Oh geez. I'm gonna have to work on my attitude about that because that's weird. Even to have this sweet potato to eat, let alone the fork and the plate, is a real blessing. Because a lot of people don't have this. Come on, Jay, let's go. Here's a practical tip. Once you train yourself not to say I can't, but rather how can I, you'll break through the wall of quitting that most simply just allow themselves to run into. And from then on, your brain will go to work for you in order to find solutions rather than finding excuses for why you can't. And yes, that is a ladder because I wanted this shot, so I decided to figure out how to get it. Right, Joy? Oh my gosh, Joy, let's go, oh, let's go, Joy, come on. Oh. Okay, principle number 2. What?
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. Look for the lesson in every challenge. For this to work, you must first get rid of any pride inside of you and then take a humble approach to the challenge that's in front of you. Understanding that everything in life doesn't necessarily happen to you, but rather it happens for you. Ed Milet. Thank you, Ed. To sum it up, read Romans 8:28. Here you go. So what is God trying to teach you through your circumstance? To sum it up, guys, the process is the goal. David never would have been able to defeat Goliath if it weren't for the years beforehand that he spent in the wilderness defending his flock against bears, lions, and all other types of wildlife. FYI, my main man David was about 13 when he took down a dude bigger than the Rock himself with a quick shapa of a slingshot. That's pretty beast. So how is he able to do that? Especially at the ripe age of 13 years old. David, bro. Because he was doing the exact same thing beforehand, except with 400-pound lions and 750-pound bears. But I guess no biggie there, right? Now, obviously, David is cool, but this serves as a really, really good example. If it weren't for the trials that he was allowed to endure, he wouldn't have been equipped with the courage and skill that it took to stand up against a giant. Embrace every challenge with a fierce and humble confidence, knowing that you're in the beautiful process of being equipped to tackle much bigger and more rewarding challenges than you could ever imagine. And thank God that He is allowing you to be stretched in order to do so. Whatever you're going through, whatever you're aspiring to be, whatever you're aspiring to do, know that the trials that you're facing right now is exactly what's preparing you for what's coming ahead. So don't be complacent, don't be lazy, don't give up. Quitting is highly overrated, my friends. But now I challenge you to be vulnerable and share what you're going through in the comments, or what your dreams are, or anything like that that you may see as a little daunting or a little scary, because that's okay, because courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. So hopefully this helps you triumph over some fear. Also, thinking up a brand, and it's gonna be kind of cool. So leave a comment if you would buy some merchandise that is related to the channel, because I've mentioned it to a couple friends and some cool ideas seem to be coming from it. So leave a comment, like this video, whatever, let me know if you would buy some merch that had some meaning to it. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Stay sharp, make sure you're hanging around the right people, and thank you for hanging out with me.